want to start with the Black Ops news, or do you want to go do the other stuff?
Whatever you want.
All
I'm down for
right.
whatever.
Yeah, I think we can fit this in 25 minutes. Okay, so Black Ops 4. You seen it? You've heard of Black Ops 4? Have you
I
heard of Call of Duty?
I have heard of Call of Duty.
Are you sure?
Um, I own three Call of Duty game. No, two Call of Duty games.
All right.
I own Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty Black Ops 1.
That's a pretty good picks.
They're my brothers.
Never mind. That was pretty good picks on his part.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. So they had a reveal trailer. I'm trying to remember, was it Wednesday or Thursday this happened? I think it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
Yeah. So they did their own live stream, their presentation for Black Ops 4, dispelling all the rumors and leaks. Spoiler alert, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah. Apparently Charlie Intel was right. So I took some notes, and so they started with multiplayer, and so they went, "Hey guys, here's the first." So they said they reworked most character abilities. Well, these are my
Mm.
notes. So they reworked most character abilities. They're going with a specialist style of doing things, much like a hero shooter.
Oh,
Which
okay, that's a
I
pretty
don't
good
want to
idea.
say Overwatch, but Overwatch is going to be the first thing with most people, based on the comments I've seen, compare it to, which I think is unfair since it's not the first to do it, nor will it be the last. It's just the most popular at this moment. But they have different styles, so I don't think that's an entirely fair concept, especially since Black Ops 3 came out before Overwatch.
Hmm.
And this game is very much like Black Ops 3 rather than Overwatch. So they have a bunch of specialists, and they do their thing every year where they have this multiplayer trailer showing gameplay, and it's not anything like an actual match.
Oh no, because I watched the footage, and this person stays alive for more than 30 seconds, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa,
Oh,
I've never
flying
seen this before."
teamwork? What is that? He put
It's
out
just
his shield and they hit behind it. That's not caught. It's like that. It's like,
yeah, it
and they
was it was
have.
like that. Yeah.
And I'm not the kind of person who agrees to statement, but that music was, you know, that's like typical HOD music. It's always like that. I'm kind of getting tired of it. Like that
I didn't even listen
electronic
to it.
dubstep ish music. It's just a bunch of wubs going on. It's like, all right, the majority of your community is not like this, right? But that's just more of a nitpick. So after they this show the beginning of it, they went, "Hey guys, does this have?" I know. Let me answer your. I'm trying to replicate what they actually said, but I can't because I haven't rewatched it. But they went, "Does this have, guys? We've heard your questions and we're here to answer it. Does this have thrust jumping?" And they put on the giant screen behind them, "No." And it does this have riding? And they put a question mark, and they go, "No." Put it on the screen. Is this boots on the ground? Question mark. Yes. And everyone's going, "Woo!" And I'm just staring at the screen like, you sellouts. How could you go back to boots on the ground?
Hold on. How am I supposed to get up from A to B without running on a wall? I mean, uh, what's walking? I don't.
Ooh.
Huh?
All right, I see you, Ethan. I see what you're doing here. I just, especially after playing the Modern Warfare remaster and a little bit of World War II, I realized even though I don't rely on it very much, I do appreciate extra mobility. It's
Hmm.
actually, I'm one of I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna be like those people in the comment section goes, "Am I the only one?" But at least vocally, since we're doing a podcast now, I'm like one of the few people who actually appreciated Advanced Warfare. A lot of people dislike it. There
I
are
quit. I'm
issues,
done.
but I appreciate their choice in doing that.
I didn't play Advanced Warfare except for probably like 3 hours worth of call like the of zombies
Yeah,
with my friend Kelsey, and I didn't get into it that much just because it was such a toss bag. But I've talked about it before. I did play Titanfall 2, and I love the wall running in that game. I thought it worked really well with the map design, and I didn't necessarily use it as a mainstay for mobility, but I remember
right.
using it a lot for advantage in certain situations. Like there's one map that has a train track that runs an elevated train track that runs right through the middle of the map. And sometimes snipers would hide up there, and so what you would have to do is you'd have to wall run or double jump with a jetpack
Yeah,
up to that level to take them out. So it was basically like like a height advantage. Anakin, I have the high ground.
right.
Instead of a way of like getting from A to B, there's no other way to get from A to B. It's more like it was a way that you could do things, but you didn't have to.
Of course. Yeah. I think that's actually the issue with most of the advanced movement. Is that
Hmm.
I think it's fine. I just think the map design has to be better. It was one of my issues with Infinite Warfare when I don't understand. Is that the map
Hmm.
design doesn't make sense with the mobility given.
And that's what they need to work on more than boots on the ground
Yeah.
pandering.
But boots on the ground is easier because you don't have to adjust for it, which is what they did.
Hmm.
And that's not to say there's no mobility. There's at least one character, Ruin, who's in Black Ops 3, has the one mobility option. So let me
So
go to
flag.
next notes. Unless you want to say more.
And what's the ability option?
He has Titanfall 2 grappling hook.
Oh yeah,
So he's the only one who can actually maneuver really quickly.
I love that ability.
You can't. It doesn't seem like you can move left or right, but when you hook onto something, it pulls you towards it. So
I
what you
love
can
that.
do is like aim higher than some cover to propel you above to do some trick shotting.
Hmm.
Although I haven't
Is it
seen
like
enough.
Widow?
What? Yes, like
Like
Widow.
Widow? Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking it can be used for. I haven't seen anyone use it that way yet. They've
Good
used it
time.
very uncreatively, but based on the two developers' own words, they say it's going to be a lot of montage footage using that ability.
Mm. I That reminds me of one of my favorite coincidences that would happen in Titanfall 2 is when two people would grapple hook each other,
Ooh,
meet midair, and then whoever got the melee first won. And that was always really fun to try.
oh, it's so cool. I
Two people would accidentally grapple hook each other, and then they'd come at each other and just boom. That was cool.
or like when you're running, you're just hooking across the walls, and you accidentally grapple hook someone, and then like kick them in the head as you come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So the next thing they talked about was for the first time in forever, predictive
Right.
recoil, and also 3D design of bullets. So you actually see it. It's not like instant. You can actually see the bullets going through the world.
So predictive recoil.
Yes.
Explain.
So normally in COD, there's no actual understanding of how the recoil works. You just fire and you kind of hope to make it work. But in comparison, in Rainbow Six Siege, there's a established recoil system, and they tell you for each individual gun how the recoil works. Where there's a green section, a yellow section, and a red section.
Where's that where those sections posted? Like in the
When you're
interface?
looking at the gun, this is in Rainbow Six Siege. When you're looking at the gun, putting attachments on, they'll show you
Oh.
at the bottom right of the screen. But
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
for COD, that's not the case. But they're saying each gun's going to have a predictive recoil system, and you're going to be
Okay.
able to actually tell where the bullets are coming from. Which, when they mentioned that, I thought about it. It's taken way too long for that to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. What century is it? Like, come on.
Yeah. So the next thing they add was no health regen. No more regen.
Oh, I saw
Instead,
that.
there's a dedicated healing mechanic where you
I
have to
saw
actually
that.
heal up, and that kind of makes sense with what they're going for, especially because with each specialist having some sort of ability, they
You're gonna
brought
have a
up,
medic.
for example, we have a medic, like you said,
Hmm.
who can
Yep.
heal people above their standard health and also resupply. That's his two abilities. So everyone has
Team A.
yeah, so everyone has a special, like a main ability. For example, Ruin, the guy with the grappling hook, has a ground pound that just destroy everyone.
Mm.
But he has a dedicated healing button, and also his side tactical ability is resupply. And the other thing they mentioned is no fog of war. I mean, they have a fog of war now, so you on the mini map you used to be able to see everything that's happening, but you can only see the extension of your mini map. I mean, of your surrounding area and your ally surrounding area. Except, once again, a specialist who has the ability to put mini like UAVs around the area that can track people.
Give extra sonar slash radar.
Yeah.
Wow. These systems seem like actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, they're actually committing, which was
Yeah.
I my main complaint about 3 in Infinite Warfare is that there wasn't really much purpose to the actual specialists.
This kind of existed.
Yeah.
I have one critique in that why was the non-health regen system in place for World War II? That seems like a mechanic that would fit World War II especially.
But I mean, you could put in, but I think the reason. I mean, what they were going for, which is
Yeah.
we're trying to get back to our roots. So to do that
Mhm.
would just be counterproductive to their purpose.
And that's fair. But
Yeah,
I think that mechanic would also fit in that uh frame of time.
yeah. No, no, yeah, it would make more sense. But then also medics wouldn't exist. And it'd be a lot harder to be a medic with World War II
Mhm.
system.
Yeah,
You
you'd
know,
have
like
to be a woman.
oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
no, but I mean, but you get what I mean, like right, like
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
guy with a nano machine gun can instantly heal you, and that makes sense. But you can't get like a World War II medic to come up and instantly pull out the MG for like 60 round that's in your body.
I was gonna say he's just gonna amputate. He's just
Exactly.
gonna chop off arms.
Right. That's a totally different game we have.
Oh God! I got shot in the arm. Don't worry. Takes
Don't
that
worry,
as a
I
buzz
brought my
saw.
buzzsaw.
Yeah.
And then they also said league play. They're bringing back rank mode, which, yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't hear
Yeah.
people talking about League. It was in Black Ops 3. That was the first one I think to have it. But it's not like people were talking about it all the time.
I don't
you
remember
know?
anyone ever mentioning it existing.
Exactly. I don't like so that to me I was like, all right, that's cool. And then the last thing they mentioned for multiplayer is uh they're going to have solo missions for each specialist so you can try them out and also learn about their character and background. Sorry, my laptop froze for a second. That's why I didn't hear anything. It just stopped. But
Ah,
so
I like that the way that sounds. It sounds pretty nice.
it's nice until you realize there's no story mode, and this is their way of which they go about saying throughout the entire thing is like with no campaign, we're putting the story and everything else.
Yeah, this sounds like it definitely. The way you're saying it definitely sounds like I've heard it before.
Right.
Instead of giving you an actual story, we're gonna think you're gonna think that we're giving you a story with our new mode, fake story mode.
Yeah.
Everyone starts cheering.
No one was cheering. When they said no campaign, it was just like,
Just one guy in the back just shouting obscenities. Like, can we get that guy out of here? Sorry. Can we get the guy out of here?
yeah. Oh, crap. My headphones. Oh, give me a second. So, yeah. So next
Nice.
thing, they did zombies.
I haven't watched. I briefly saw footage of the zombie play.
Actual gameplay or the trailer?
Just the trailer. The
Yeah.
trailer.
All right.
I'd like
So
to see some actual gameplay. Oh,
it's looking cool. So they're going with a brand new. Oh, and the guy who the writer for zombies was he had a nice personality. He was way more interesting than anyone else on stage.
nice.
But he said new story with four new characters, and their antagonist is this evil cult that's trying to do something. He didn't say. He didn't want to say. And so they showed the trailer in which it's these four people. You have the old man who seems like the smartest one, the lady with the ties to the cult. She has some special necklace that's involved. And then you got the edge lord guy who has like a leather coat, and he's the handsome, dark and handsome guy. And then you have the big brute, like typical storyline stuff. And so they drink from this cup that sends them back in time to the Roman gladiator days.
Ooh.
And then they're all decked out in swords and armor and such. They look really cool. And then the cult do their thing. They turn everybody else to zombies. And then when the four people come out, they're all badasses murdering zombies left and right.
Yes.
The brute just like cut the zombie in half. The lady is just moving around like with her two-handed sword, like slicing the place up. It's just, yeah, that was the first one, and I was like, all right, melee combat, I'm down. I want to see this.
Yeah.
And then they start going through the details of how zombies going to work, and so they're going to be adding customizable options. Like, there's a mode you can make your own custom map or custom game mode for it. Doing things like adjusting zombie speed and such. And then
So I can finally get to live up my fantasy of having
having what? Hold on a second. Having what?
having zombies on the lowest possible difficulty.
A
Yeah,
casual experience.
that's me. That's gonna
So
be on my gravestone. It's gonna be Ethan.
a casual
Casual
experience.
experience.
They
Continue.
also mention limited time challenges.
All right.
Oh, and this is something you'll like. So now when you play solo, they'll have AI characters playing the other people, and they can assist you in that. And they'll also
Thank
have
God.
simplified zombie mode. Although they didn't really go into detail what that meant, but they were like, for the people who are having trouble with zombies, we made this mode that's like a simplified version. I want to know more. That's one of those things I actually want to know more about. That I
Yeah.
wish they went into detail for. And then the most cool part about it, they tell us they're adding 2 more maps, so it's gonna be 3 zombie maps instead. So you have this one. You have a remake of one of the most popular zombie maps, which was in Black Ops 2, called Mob of the Dead. And so this one's going to be a
Ooh.
remake called Blood of the Dead.
Now, which one was Mob of the Dead? Which map was that?
When you're in Alcatraz.
Oh, that one. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't play that one that much. My friend was always into the Western one.
I didn't play any of the DLC. I only played the transit, and that turned me off from zombies. I really
That
hated
was
that one.
make or break, that's for sure. But yeah, Kelsey has all the DLC, and she loved forgetting the one. I forget the name of it, but it's like a Western town.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I know which one you're talking about. I just didn't play any of them.
I only ever played Kino.
Dude, that's so great. I love Kino.
I hate
In
it
the
so
third
much.
map, which
Titanic.
yes,
They announced that. Was it today or they announced it then? Did
they,
they say
they
it?
announced it Friday, like the day afterwards.
That one looks so cool too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad all of them. I'm glad they're telling us there's a bunch of in-game comment. I don't want to have to get DLC.
There probably will be a season pass and probably
Oh
will be
yeah,
more
most
content.
definitely. But I'm glad. What I mean is, I'm glad it's not like World War Two, where there's World War Two has two maps, but the first one is essentially a tutorial.
Mm,
Or like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 3 also has two maps technically, but the second one is Black Ops Arcade, which I won't count as a real zombie map. It's more of like a fun thing they put in at the last second. Because that was the case in the first Black Ops, where you had to know the cheat code for it to get the Black Ops Arcade.
yes.
And so, all right, so with 5 minutes left, you ready to
I
talk
have.
about the
I have.
what?
Wait, I have one last question.
Yeah,
Is there a release date?
no, it's gonna be in October. Yes, it was. I didn't write it down. It's in
So
October.
in October. Okay. I
I s-
because this might be the first Call of Duty game in years that I'll buy.
you should probably pre-order so you can get into the beta.
Hold on, Phoenix pre-ordering.
I'm not gonna pre-order. You can, but I
The
won't.
last game I pre-ordered was Battlefront 2.
Da, 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 da. All right, my PC is really having issues here. It's really like it froze again. So I don't know if you're talking because if that happens, I don't hear it.
You should pause. Go ahead and pause.
Yeah, I'll pause and then move on just to part two, and we'll talk about the last section of this.
Let me grab something to drink.
I'm so fresh you can suck my nuts. I'm so fresh you can suck my nuts.
All right, so the last question you asked, was it about the due date, the date for the game?
Yes.
At some point in
Yeah.
October. I think it was early October, like in the tens,
All right.
which I can just pull up now. Any you have to say about Black Ops 4 at this current moment? Or are you still
I'm pretty hyped for it actually. This might be the one game that I will pre-order. I kind of got
October?
burned on my last pre-order by Battlefront 2
Have you seen the gameplay, the multiplayer gameplay?
for Black Ops. Yeah, I was watching it about an hour ago.
About an hour ago.
It looks about just like every other Call of Duty game in the past 6 years, except for World War II, of course. But I like some of the changes they're making, and that might bring me back in. If not, I'm there for the zombies. Like
Alright.
how I've discussed how I'd like to be in Platinum in Overwatch competitive. I'd like to be able to know what the hell's going on in a match of zombies for a change.
Is that your new goal? Your new
That's my
resolution?
new goal. New Ethan, new goal. Know what's going on.
I finally get back into platinum, and by that I mean I went down into
Yeah,
platinum.
you went down to Platinum.
So the
Okay.
strategy is to leave a match like 4 times. So what I did was first leave, that's down 50 points, 5 minutes. Second leave, 30 minutes. Third leave, 1 hour. Then I went to go play Smite. Came back after a couple matches. Came back in, left the fourth time, 8 hours. And then I was like, all right, went to ASIN, came back that night, last night, right before I went to bed. No, after I saw Deadpool. Went to see Deadpool, came back, left one more match. And I was like, all right, you do one more time. I was like, all right, yeah. And by that point, I got back into the point I can now play with everyone.
Except me, of course, because I'm on Xbox.
Yeah. So
Well, good for you.
yeah. So I found a due date, and it's October 12th, 2018. The
a
year
lot
of our
for you.
Lord.
In the year of our Lord, 2018.
In the year 2000.
I was at a party last night, and someone was like, 2018, more like 2018.
Ooh,
I was like, oh, all right.
I'm feeling it. It's the time to be. It's the year to be happy.
Okay, Groucho Marx.
So the multiplayer seems interesting. It seems way more grounded, and that's kind of turning me off from the Black Ops 4 feel.
What
I
do you
do,
mean
I,
grounded?
I mean, because it's boots on the ground. It's just entirely like that. It's just something about that is kind of boring me. I'm just not very excited or interested. I think the thing that's kind of there's something they haven't went through the 10 point system that they're going for in Black Ops 4. I mean, they're going for again in Black Ops 4 because I don't know. Okay, so are there perks? Are there tactical and untactical? I mean, tactical and explosive grenades. Are those things existing? But because based on what I'm looking at, and since no one used it, it seemed like the only things, and this is also supported by the specialist abilities. It seemed like the only grenades you get is if you play battery, and if you want a flash grenade, you need to play that guy with the shield.
Mm.
Or if you want trip mines, you need to play the intel guy. It seemed like all your drone abilities are dedicated to that, which I don't know how I feel because I don't necessarily. Because I feel like I'm on the fence between yeah, I'm glad the specialists have a dedicated purpose now, and on the other hand, I'm thinking, but I don't want COD to be that. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know where to lean on that. It's a
I
very
feel like it
conflicted
should be
feeling.
a mix because everyone's gonna want to run whatever they want to run, but at the same time, some people really like class systems. It seems to me that they need to balance out the classes a little bit because it seems like, as you described before, the classes are running a bit like a team shooter would be, where everyone has very dedicated classes that only do very specific things in very specific situations. Where, like, I think Call of Duty lends itself, in historically, to a little bit of a more jack of all trades kind of class system where you could customize your loadouts and you had different guns that you had for different situations. And if you need to switch, you could switch. But for the most part, you would try and play to a very specific style or all styles at once. And so a class system lends itself to being more individualistic and lacking some of the things that have made Call of Duty what it was and what it is.
All right. Yeah, I think I put put you've worded the feeling
Yeah,
well enough.
it's the
I
donut
also
that's helping.
don't like a 5v5 because I love ground war. My favorite part of playing Black Ops 1 was always playing ground war, and with a 5v5 standard for at least domination, I'm feeling like that's not going to happen, especially since they're going for a more teamwork based game and strategery. It's just something I'm not. It's also something that's never really been caught that much. Teamwork, it's not really a thing.
You're thinking more of it'd be better with like a team deathmatch,
Yeah,
like 20v20 team
yeah,
deathmatch.
I love that. I always loved the 12v12. That was fun.
But Phoenix, why can't they just have 6v6 specialists on Blizzard World? You're welcome. Anyway,
Yep. All
uh,
right. I just want to sandbag that for 10 seconds. Not on my cod.
I remember I had a discussion with someone I know who plays World of Warcraft. We were talking about Star Wars: The Old Republic. And he was like, "Yeah, I'd probably like Star Wars: The Old Republic more if you could have more people in your group. Because when you do like flashpoints, which are essentially smaller raids, you can only have 4 people in a group." And he's like, 4 people in a group is weird. I'm used to like 5 people in a group, maybe more than that, and then like bigger raids being plus 10. Whereas like Star Wars: The Old Republic locks you into like 8 or more, mostly up to 12, I think. I'm not sure entirely for bigger operations. Otherwise, it's very small groups. And he was like, yeah, small groups just don't work in that respect. And so when you're saying 5v5 in Call of Duty, it reminds me of the same thing. It's like 5v5 is kind of small for Call of Duty, especially with specialists,
Right.
because then you might run into a situation where everyone's only playing, like, they're all playing
All
a different
everyone's playing
specialist to
Ruin.
try and cover the bases, or they're all running one specialist,
Exactly.
like mayhem.
Well, I don't. Even... is that your nickname for Ruin? Just mayhem?
No, no, I mean like, I mean like, back when Overwatch allowed you to play all with one hero,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I describe that as mayhem.
Oh, I'm fine with that. No, I just like the more. I actually want more mayhem. I like walking into a room and going, "What the?" You know
Do
what I
you?
mean?
I don't.
Yeah. It's frustrating, but that's what I grew up on. It's not an objective critique on this. It's very subjective, and I grew up on playing a lot of Ground War and Black Ops One, and so
Yeah.
that's what I'm used to, and that's usually what I appreciate more. More, well, or rather, I grew up after May. I grew up, and by that I mean I started playing COD after not World War One, Modern Warfare One, which if you play that, that's a very slow paced COD. I started on the later half of Modern Warfare 2, where everyone was blowing you. You're getting BTFO'd everywhere. And then I bought my first COD on Black Ops 1, where I mostly played Ground War, and dogs and chopper gunners were everywhere. So I'm used to getting blown BTFO'd, and I kind of expect that from COD. So when we get like World War II, or when I played Modern Warfare, the remaster, which was my first time playing Modern Warfare 1, I was totally shocked and kind of bored by the more camp and tactical quotation marks, play style of those two games.
Tactical nuke incoming.
So when I play, so when I hear about this one, I see 5v5. It's not a smile on my face seeing it.
Fair enough.
So then, the last thing oh yeah, also, they, before they get to the final part, they wanted to make sure everyone knew that they were going to support PC this time. They were actually going to try by running it
Oh,
on Blizzard.net.
that's right. I heard about that. It's gonna be on the Blizzard launcher.
Yeah, for for
BattleNet.
PC functionality.
This will be the second game, I
Yeah,
think.
Destiny 2
Not
was the
made by
first one.
Blizzard. But that's still under the umbrella because
Yeah, yeah,
this is the first outside influence game that's going to be in the Battle.net launcher, which I'm sure Gaben is sitting on his golden throne of sadness, going, "Damn you!"
as they continue not to make Half-Life or Left 4 Dead or Portal
Now
or
I have to tell you, two of my favorite streamers spent a week at Valve Studios on a secret project that they can't talk about.
it's a new card game.
You're right. They do both play card games. That's a good assumption.
It's a new MOBA. But
Dota 3.
League of Dota. They're doing their own Smash Brothers where they take the most popular characters from each series.
Smite of Loda.
Ooh,
See what I did there?
yeah, I know.
Smite
what-
of the Loda Paragon. Done.
Paragon's gone. It's gone. It's over. The last thing they announced, which I'm not happy or sad about it. I'm more interested, even though I'm not going to play it probably, is their battle royale called Blackout. That's what I do when I turn the lights off. I black out. But so
You're gonna
so
say you play Battle Royale games when the lights go off.
you're never catching me playing Fortnite until they release the free version of their Save the World.
They wouldn't do that.
That's not happening yet.
Yeah. No.
So Battle Royale is going to include when you choose your character, it's going to be the characters from their entire discography. I guess. I guess that's what you call it. But every game they've made. So you have the characters from Zombies, you have the characters from World at War, and the characters from all the Black Ops. You can choose who you want to look like. And it's going to have all the map's going to be bigger. They said it's going to be like multiple times bigger than Nuketown, which Nuketown isn't that big, so I don't.
It's really not that big a map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool.
You see this ant? It's gonna be multiple times
It's
bigger.
going to
than
be
this
10
ant.
times bigger than this ant. All right.
You're like, oh, that's okay. It's my
Was that
phone.
like a chihuahua? I'm not really concerned.
Yep, 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 yep.
But so yeah, it's gonna be multiple times bigger than their maps, and it's gonna be like a combination of all their other maps they've worked on, both story, zombies. I mean, including zombie story and their multiplayer, and it's one big
Call
world.
of Duty world.
Like I was saying, it's going to include all these characters and maps, and what was interesting is they're going to have land, sea, and air vehicles in this battle royale.
Nice.
So it's going to have all their guns naturally, and their vehicles. So it seems like it's going to compete more with player known battleground rather than Fortnite. I think Fortnite is way too wedged in to the battle royale genre for anyone to compete with it.
To touch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it seems like they're and if they're smart enough, they're probably going to try and go after player unknown, especially since it's losing population at this current time. I mean, it's kind of what Radical Heights tried to do. Yeah. Speaking of which, did I even mention that last week, or is that in this? Is that in this? Let me check last week's docket just to see that did we talk
I
about
don't
that.
think so. 2 weeks ago, maybe. I wasn't here last week.
No, I didn't even talk about that last week. I forgot to mention. I remember there was some. I remember Cliffy B's studio no longer exists anymore.
Whoa! Wait,
Yeah.
what? What?
Yeah, Cliffy B's studio that made that game Jawbreakers. Sorry, Lawbreakers.
Oh, right, Jawbreakers. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Gobstopper.
and Radical Heights. So they just went bankrupt and the studio collapsed. And he goes,
Was that in like Radical Heights came out, and then like 2 weeks later they're gone?
yeah, because it was in their early access, and then you can we can assume this after the fact. They were clearly out of money
Yeah,
because
definitely.
they thought Lawbreakers was actually going to sell, which it should have. That's the thing I'm kind of surprised by. I didn't like the game. I'll say that always. Hated the game. But you can't deny it was unique, at least for what it was going for. No one approached shooters in that way, especially, well, I mean, let me rephrase that. There are clearly shooters that it takes from. Duh.
Right.
But a game dedicated in that way and how they used it, I think was unique. And I don't think... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My question is, when did it release? Did it release nearby or around the time of anything?
Summer. Released in summer.
Nothing ever comes out in the summer.
Yeah. I told you. I already know. You weren't here yet last week when I memed on it.
Yes,
Where,
obviously.
Lawbreakers... I saw a video of Yang Ye when he said Lawbreakers during their beta had a certain amount, and then when they did during their closed beta, then when they did their open beta, they had 70% fewer people playing the game than on their closed beta on Steam.
That's a bad sign.
That's a horrible sign. Thing is, it was. I think it was just he was. I think law. Oh, I always go back to Lawbreakers. There's how many times have we talked about Lawbreakers on this
A
podcast?
few at this
Like
point.
4 or 5 times. I feel
Yeah.
like I mention it every week.
You're like, at least it's not as bad as Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers. Let's talk about it for half an hour.
Yeah. Let's go back to Black Ops. Oh, the reason why I brought up Cliffy B is because I feel like Radical Heights was, I think, at least what it could have been, trying to compete more with PlayerUnknown Battleground. Because
Rather
while
than
it did have a
Fortnite.
more cartoonish art style, I mean, it's not grounded in quote unquote reality. It's while it does have a more cartoon art style, it focused more on skill, which I feel is more of a player
PUBG
unknown thing.
Yeah. Definitely more of a PUBG thing than a Fortnite thing.
So
I
when
think,
I'm seeing,
yeah.
so I think Battle Royale for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is probably going to try to aim for that more, and I hope that's the
Right.
plan. I hope there's
Yeah.
no because they didn't talk anything besides they're going to be vehicles. You can play certain characters, and it's going to take from certain maps. So we have no idea how it's going to work. People are speculating that I haven't been able to confirm this with my I haven't had enough I didn't even know if they were saying this or not, so I haven't had a chance to confirm this. People said that they mentioned zombies will be involved on the map. I haven't had a chance to confirm that, but what
That'd be a nice spin.
yeah, what I'm trying to mention here is what I'm interested in is how they're gonna treat the electric wall, that closes in on you. What's gonna be their system or how it's gonna work? A comment I saw that was speculating on this, their idea, which some claim is actually true. You remember Transit in Black Ops 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have this miss where there's denizens, those people who jump on your head when you're not on the bus. You ever been
Hmm.
off the bus and you try to run the town?
No.
Yeah, so when you go through the mist to try to get to their area, they would have these characters called denizens who have just popped up and start scratching your face.
Jeez.
And then also zombies who would just randomly appear. So someone suggested, what if their own electric mist is that?
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it becomes really hard to see. They can make it even like a horror-ish vibe when you're in the mist. I think that'd be a cool idea.
I think it'd also be cool if it was kind of like They Are Billions, or
Oh,
like, yeah, where the circle, instead of it being like a mist or something like that, it is a pretty constant moving wave
of
of
zombies.
millions of zombies that you just can't
Ooh,
survive.
that'd be sick. Like
That'd be so
people
awesome.
trying to get out of the fall of zombies. They have to shoot their way out. That'd be kind of cool. And that'd be
Yeah.
tactical. Like because it really punishes you in a different way.
It's different than all the other games. Like the other games, it's like it's a circle that kills you. But this time it could be a slowly moving wave of lots of zombies with a couple fast ones to spice it up.
Yeah,
Like yeah, like different class. A spin, not much, but a spin. If instead of the circle like stopping at points, it's just constantly coming, slowly but constantly, and then picks
yeah,
up speed.
yeah. I can see that. Kind of like that.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
That's really
So,
it. And then they kind of, they ended their presentation saying there's no campaign, so we decided to put story in all our game modes, which they still didn't explain where's the story in Battle Royale. So, you know, I don't know where that is. So, but that's how their campaign, that's how their presentation ended. And then they showed off the multiplayer trailer one more time For all the people who didn't see it the first time.
Hey, folks. Now, I know what you've been asking for a long time. Where's the story? Well, I'm here today to announce our fake story, not real.
All right, Jeff Kaplan.
Hey, guys, it's Jeff from the Overwatch team, here with another developer update. A reminder that we don't actually care about you. We're just trying to get your money.
So, how do you feel about everything you've heard currently? I mean, like, so let's see what I wrote here. So, I did write a reflection, a small sentence or two. And it seems like they're trying their hardest to appease the Call of Duty crowd
Yeah.
while trying to ride a new wave or evolve their system.
That sounds about right. They're pandering, which honestly is kind of appreciated at this point in gaming history. With companies like EA not giving a shit about their audience. And then on the flip side, companies like Blizzard trying their hardest to appease the audience, but also make a good game and not just be like, yes, your terrible idea is awesome. Let's put it in. I think this Call of Duty is a step in the right direction where they're pandering enough, but not too much.
Isn't that the...
Hopefully.
All right. Okay. I like this. I just want to see more zombies. I want to hear more about their zombies, like actual gameplay, and their blackout. Once I get find out how their blackout plays, I'll no, I remember. I'm pissed about Black Ops 4 because once again they're going on a private beta instead of a public beta.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be able to try out the game unless I'm going to buy it anyway. Which, at that point, what's the point of doing it? I mean, I know it's to test servers, but they did that with World War II, and guess what happened the first day? It was unplayable.
Yep. There you go.
Wait, what was that?
I said, there you go.
Ah, all right. Wow, you're really struggling, aren't you, PC? You're just freezing all over the place. You just did a double freeze. That's never been done before.
Sounds like your computer's on its last leg.
It is on his last legs.
It's a deer that was hit by a car. It's struggling to get back up.
It needs to get out. Get
Yeah.
out.
Kanye says that. Sorry, Kanye says that. Paparazzi flashed a photo at him, and he suddenly bursts out, and Kim is like holding him back. He's, get out! Get out!